Hey guys, welcome back to Weekenders on the Water. Today we're here in the garage and today we're going to be applying 9-second fix to this 2017 GTI SE130. So if you want to find out if it's worth your time, then you're in the right place. Make sure you stick around, check it out, hit that subscribe button, and let's go. Alright guys, so behind me is my 2017 GTI SE130. When we were brand new to the sport and we bought this one, we bought it used in 2020 with about 4 hours on it. So practically brand new. But again, not knowing what we're doing, one of our first few times out, I accidentally rode this thing over an oyster bed. Granted at low speed, but those oysters and those mussels can do quite a bit of damage, and they did put some scratches in the hull through the gel coat and into the fiberglass. Basically, I really should get this thing fully fixed, but what I've been doing in the meantime is I've been using this stuff called 9-second chip fix. So this claims to be able to fix that problem. I've applied it probably 3 times at this point. It costs about $25. I'll put a link down in the description below in Amazon where you can get it yourself. Basically, you apply this stuff to the chips, and it says it only takes 9 seconds. I'd rather give this a couple days to cure, particularly anything under the waterline. If it's above the waterline, I don't think it's really that big a deal. You could probably use this and be just fine, but below the waterline, I'm going to give it a couple days. So if you haven't noticed, the whole time I've been doing this, I've been kneading it. So first thing you got to do is you have to knead this up for about 2 minutes. So while I continue to talk, I'm going to keep doing this. Right there you can see where some of this has already been applied, and most of it's kind of stuck there once before. Here's a deeper spot and a few other small spots there. Here's the packaging. You can see Magic Easy 9-second chip fix. So fills colors in one application, perfect for fiberglass, plastic, aluminum, wood, ceramic. No mixing, no sanding, no prep work, no unpleasant fumes. And it comes in a couple different colors. Of course, I picked the midnight black. Here you can see the back of the package as well. So like I said, basically select the right color. It says you want to scrub the areas with soapy water, rinse, and allow fully to dry. That's already been done. Knead the package for 2 minutes. Apply the 9-second chip fix, and then use the back. This thing here is like a scraper or a leveler. So really pretty easy. All right, so now we've moved under the jet ski. As I mentioned, I've done this a few times already before. So here's one spot where we got it pretty good, and you can see there's still actually some 9-second chip fix in there. So this stuff is holding on there pretty good in that location, but there's a little bit around the edges there that could be filled in as well. Here we have another spot that's pretty bad, and this one doesn't have any chip fix in there at all. And then we got two real tiny spots here. So luckily none of my damage is really that bad, but it is enough that I just want to keep sealing it up. Like I said, eventually I'll get around to getting the fiberglass fixed and getting like a Gator Glide coating or something on there. But in the meantime, this is a lot faster and a lot cheaper. So we're going to do this for a little bit while longer until we want to fork over the time and money to get this thing fixed properly. All right, so like I said, I've already been kneading this stuff. So we'll start here with the biggest one, and we'll just goop it in there. Just make sure that we fill up all the cracks. We don't see any of that white there anymore. And there's a little chip right there too. Go ahead and fill that in. And then we'll hit these couple smaller spots right here. Once you have it in there, like I said, the idea is you turn this thing around and use it like a scraper or a leveler to kind of smooth it all out. Take off any excess. See, there's still a spot there that didn't quite get filled, so we'll retouch that. And then just level it out. And it says you don't need any sanding. This is the underside of the jet ski. No one ever really sees it, so it doesn't have to look super pretty. But basically just like that, it's gone. You can't hardly see it anymore. So anyways, basically you just take the stuff and you just fill it in until you get all the little white spots there cleaned up. And then
take the backside of it and you kind of use it as a scraper or a leveler, and you just kind of smooth it over. This is for deeper spots. You may need a couple applications, and that's basically it. You let it dry a couple days. And this is the underside of the jet ski. Nobody ever sees this, so it doesn't have to look pretty. And that's basically it. It's super simple. It couldn't be any easier, honestly, and it's really affordable too. And like I said, it holds up decently well. You should be able to get a couple months out of this stuff. I think if it's, you know, above the water line, it'd probably be, I would assume, maybe a pretty permanent fix. If it's at the water line, you know, maybe a little bit less. This one underneath the jet ski, remember, these things go almost 60 miles an hour. There's a lot of friction with all that water passing over this at that speed, and I think that's where maybe it's not really holding up quite as well on these jet skis as it would maybe if you had like a John boat or something like that. But you know, it's all right. So I recommend it. I'm going to continue to use this stuff at least until, you know, I come up with the, I don't know, was it $600,000 or something to get this thing gator glided, you know, and fixed. That would be the ultimate solution. But in the meantime, this stuff works well, and you know, every couple months I crawl under here and just apply a little bit more. All right, guys, so it's been a couple weeks since we applied that 9-second chip fix, and unfortunately I didn't get any video of it, but I did crawl underneath the jet ski and take a look at it, and all of that had flaked off. I got some photos of the aftermath. Basically all of it kind of dried up and then it just flaked off. So within one outing of riding these things out in the Gulf, basically all that chip fix had come off. So what's the next best thing is to get it actually fixed. So you can go and you can do some fiberglass repair. I'm not, you know, look, I'm a DIY kind of guy, but I do not do well with like body work. I've never touched fiberglass, so I didn't want to do that. But another option is either like Gator Glide or Super Slick. So I found a guy online who's over in Cape Coral. Basically he did a super slick job on this. So he fixed the, he did a little bit of filler on the couple areas that I had issues with, and then super slicked it. And so I'll show you that now. We'll get a light on this, but here is the super slick coating. So you can see there's the original gel coat. We had a chip in this line here, but I can't even tell where it is now because it's, you know, like I said, he filled that in, applied this super slick, and it feels pretty slick already. You know, it's got like a little bit of a texture to it, but it's super hard. So the nice thing about this stuff is supposedly now you can actually beach these skis with that super slick, and you're not going to have any issues with like scraping, taking out the gel coat, shells, or anything like that. I still don't think I'm going to do that. I do prefer to keep my jet skis anchored just slightly offshore, but at least now it's an option if we don't have any other option, and I don't really have to worry about it too much. So overall, I think it's a great idea. It's definitely going to be a lot tougher than what comes from the factory. It should be another one of those options. I don't understand why Sea-Doo, Yamaha, Kawasaki don't offer stuff like this from the factory. It seems like these are types of things that so many people want to do, and you always have to go third party and get it done afterwards. You can DIY this yourself, but what I like about so going with the company that I went with, he is fully certified. He does this sort of work on boats and things as well. I know it's done, and I know it's done right. So that's going to do it for us today, guys. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Again, this is a brand new channel, so every subscription means a ton. You definitely want to follow along because we got tons of new content coming up. We got that Bimini trip coming up. You definitely want to follow along for that. And with that being said, we're out of here, and we'll see you next weekend. All right, guys, so behind me is my 2017 GTI SE 170. Now all right. And all right, I don't know what I was recording there. I don't know if I recorded anything. As I mentioned, so here is let me get the light.